Hey! Yo, everyone, Andrew here, bringing you another video, and today we're going to be doing another edition of What I Am Thinking. Now, for those of you who are new to my channel or know nothing about this blog series, basically this is a sit-down blog series where I talk to you guys about what I am thinking. It could be about anything. It could be about video games. It could be about comic books. It can be about politics. It can be about that crusty stuff that gets in your eyes. It can be about movies or televisions. What I am thinking is what I'm going to be saying. So what is this edition of What I Am Thinking? Well, I am thinking about when is it too soon, or is it too soon for another big name Nintendo title from the big name Nintendo series, such as Mario, Zelda, Metroid. Allow me to explain what I am talking about. Basically this. The Wii is coming to the end of its life cycle. And with that, we're getting a new system, the Wii U. Now, we've been shown a lot of the stuff that the Wii U can do. It has HD, it has a different controller, it can do webcamming and Skyping and all these other fun apps and stuff. So we've been getting a lot of the features. And one thing that's happening in the video game community is talk about the next Wii U games for the big name titles, like Zelda Wii U or Mario Wii U. And not so much Metroid, but it's still something that gets brought up. And it had me thinking, because one of my friends asked me this question. Andrew, do you think it's too soon for a new Zelda game to come out? Now, this question was asked more about Game Boy and the Wii or the Wii U. Obviously, it can't be for the Wii because the Wii's pretty much done. I think there's only like less than 15 titles going to be released in the next year or so, but this is a question he asked. So I thought about this, and I kind of branched it off into other video game series that I like Mario and Metroid. The reason why I'm taking Mario and Metroid are this, and I'm going to use a comic book reference for this. There's a lot of big name video games series in Nintendo. Nintendo has probably the biggest continuous video game series. I mean, obviously there's games like Halo and Call of Duty and, you know, Half-Life and so on and so forth. But Nintendo has some of the most recognizable characters, such as, you know, Link from Zelda, Mario, Samus from Metroid, all the 500 plus Pokemon, but most noticeably their mascot Pikachu. They have Donkey Kong. They have tons of characters that are recognizable. And out of all these characters in all these video games, there's three that stand out the most. And here's the comic book reference. In comic books, for DC, there's something called the Holy Trinity. The DC Trinity, which is Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman. They are the Trinity of DC. With me, I like to think that Mario, Zelda, and Metroid are the Trinity of video gaming for Nintendo. Although Metroid may not be as popular as the first two, they are still the top video game characters and top video games for Nintendo. At least when it comes down to their long-running video games. And they're some of my favorites. Zelda is my favorite video game series, with some of my favorite games in it. Mario is a video game series that I have adored since my childhood, and it is also one of my favorite video game series. And then Metroid, I've been on a huge kick lately, and I've beaten all but one Metroid game right now. I'm currently playing it, and when I'm done with it, I'm going to go into Metroid a bit. But these are games that I think stand out the most when it comes down to the Nintendo games and the games I'm going to talk about. So the original question, I'm kind of going off on a tangent for 4 minutes and 13 seconds, is that when is it too soon to have new games for these? Because we just came off Mario Galaxy 2 and Mario for the Wii, New Super Mario Bros. For the Wii. In addition to that, we just came off of Super Mario 3D Land. We just came off of Skyward Sword and Ocarina of Time 3D, if you can really count that as a new release. And then we just got Metroid the Other M, and you can even say Metroid Corruption was also part of, wasn't Metroid Corruption? Actually, no, that was 2007, so I really shouldn't count that. But we just got games recently, within the past, I want to say, 2 years, for Nintendo of these games. And with the Wii U, there is a lot of speculation and talk. So when is it too soon to have a new Zelda game? When is it too soon to have a new Mario game? And when is it too soon to have a new Metroid game? This is something that's going through my head. So let's do it through the numbers. Let's go through them. And let's talk about Zelda first, because Zelda's my favorite. Skyward Sword just came out, 2011, so we're not going to see another Zelda game for a bit, but there's a lot of speculation going on. And I'm going to talk about the Wii U and also with the 3DS. A lot of speculation is going on what could be the new Wii U game for Zelda, because we had that demo, which isn't really a game, it's just a demo. And there's a lot of speculation going on because it was said that they're already in development for another 3DS Zelda game. So for me, when is it too soon for a new Zelda game? Because I am a humongous, die-hard Zelda fan. Here's the answer to the question that is asked, and it was an answer that my friend gave me for another game. People were talking to my friend, and we were talking about Diablo 3. And they were like, well, Diablo 3's been in development for such a long time, blah, blah, blah. We've been way too long. My friend said this, listen, Blizzard does good games. And you know what Blizzard says for their release for games? When we're finished with it. And that's something I like to think about with Zelda. Zelda is riddled with delays. There are tons of delays when it comes down to Zelda games. Not so much for Skyward Sword, though. I think Skyward Sword only had 1 or 2 delays. But Zelda has a lot of delays. Why? Because they never ever they will always pull out a good product. They will never pull out a game that's not complete. Skyrim. But I like Skyrim. I'm just teasing it. But the thing is this: it should not release a game unless the game is complete. Unless everything is ironed out, it is fully complete. Zelda should not release a game otherwise. As much as I would love a new Zelda game every month or something, that would be amazingly impossible. But still. I would love a new Zelda game, but I would not want a new Zelda game unless it was 100% complete. You know? When will the new Zelda game come out? When it's done. Plain, flat, and simple. So that's how I feel towards with the Zelda game. Now, when it comes down to the Wii U, I think the next Zelda game, the big name Zelda game platform, should come out in the midlife of the Wii U. So let's just say the Wii U has a lifespan of what? The Wii had a 6-year lifespan. It's 2012. It came out in 2006, roughly. Let's just say there's a 6-year lifespan for the Wii U. I think 3 years into it is when the new Zelda game should come out. That gives a substantial amount of time between Skyward Sword and that Zelda game, and it also gives us time to fully embrace all the functions and capabilities that the Wii U has to offer. One thing that Twilight Sword didn't do that Skyward Sword did do is it was kind of a release right when the Wii came out, roughly. I think it right when it came out, around then. I got it for the GameCube, so I don't really know about the Wii, but I know it came out within the first few months of the Wii. And the thing is it really didn't utilize the Wii's capabilities. Wii Motion Plus wasn't out, so it couldn't utilize it. I don't blame Twilight Princess; it just could not utilize it. So, in saying that, I think to fully utilize all the things that the Wii U has to offer, I think Zelda should wait a bit before it kind of gets its footing. It knows exactly what it's going to do, if that makes any sense. So that is Zelda. On the flip side, let's talk about Mario. You know what I like? I like when a system is released and the system releases great launch titles. Nothing is worse than getting a system and having bad launch titles, like Nintendogs or Hello Kitty Special Adventure through Chocolate Land, or I don't know, I can't, like a movie release or something, so like Iron Man DS. I want good release titles, and back in the day, not too long ago, there were good release titles, like Super Mario 64, or even further back, like Super Mario World, or even further back, like Super Mario Brothers. So, I would love to see a Mario game launch on the Wii. Now, maybe not as an extensive Mario game as Super Mario Galaxy, but maybe a Mario game kind of like the new Super Mario Brothers for the Wii. A game that's side-scrolling, kind of have a classic Mario feel, but can also utilize what the Wii U has to offer. I think if you are to make the Wii U successful, not only in the hardware and the features that they have, but a good, strong showing in the beginning with a launch title of arguably and probably Nintendo's biggest mascot, Mario, I think it's important to do that. Uh, I love Mario as much as I love almost every other game series, except for Zelda. I love more. But the thing is I think Mario's games are a lot easier to get out than Zelda games because Mario has the most beautiful concept in all of video gaming. Is this Mario is a very simple concept. It's a platformer. You jump on things, you get power-ups. And the great thing about Mario as a character is he's incredibly flexible with what he can do. One day he could be saving the Princess Peach from Bowser, and the next day he could be go-kart racing with Bowser. Or he could be making a soccer team with Bowser. I mean, there's so much flexibility, and there's a lot you can do with Mario. I think a Mario game is easier to get out, and I could be wrong because I'm not a video game developer. For all I know, Mario games could be incredibly hard to get out, but I think a Mario game released as a launch title for the Wii U could be beneficial for the Wii U and also for Mario fans. That's what I'm thinking. So, with that said, let's move on to the third candidate here, and that would be Metroid. Metroid has, it's kind of fun. Metroid, through 1993, which is where Super Metroid came out, all the way up to around 2002, when Metroid Prime and Metroid Fusion came out, there's a big gap when there was no Metroid games. You had the first three Metroids, and then a big gap and no Metroid games. And then since then, we got Metroid Prime 2, Metroid Prime 3, Metroid Prime Hunters, Metroid Fusion, Zero Mission, and then Metroid the Other M. So what was that? Three Metroids, then the Hunters, then Fusion, then Zero Mission, then Other M. We got 7 games of Metroid within a 10-year period. That's quite a lot. And for the most part, not all of them, but for the most part, they were stellar games. They were really fun and enjoyable. There were a few hiccups here and there, and I'm playing one of the hiccups right now. But for the most part, they were really, really good games. So, when should the next Metroid title come out? Well, Metroid the Other M was not the most well-received game by fans. I will talk about Other M on another day and my feelings about it personally, but for fans in general, it was not the most well-received game. What I think is that where Mario should be released in the beginning, Zelda in the middle, I think Other M should wait a couple years down the line towards the latter half of the Wii's life cycle for 2 reasons. One, it gives us a good amount of time to miss Metroid and to want a new Metroid game. I think that's important. You release games time and time and time and time again, it doesn't give you a chance to miss them. It's like Resident Evil right now. A new Resident Evil game is coming out, Operation Raccoon. I just played Revelations, and I just played, 5 a few years ago. It hasn't given me time to miss Resident Evil. I'm genuinely excited for 6, but I don't miss Resident Evil at all. So, it gives us enough time to miss Metroid, and gives them enough time to pull out a great Metroid game. The Prime series was great, but I think it kind of started to fall apart towards the end. Not fall apart, but it wasn't quite as good at the end as it was in the beginning. So it gives us a chance to kind of get that great Metroid game that we haven't had for a bit. Other M, like I said, I'll talk about it when I get to it. And funny thing is if you look at Other M, the abbreviation MOM means mother, and then if you take the M and puts it in front of the other, it says mother. Haha. Funny. But the thing is Other M did not resonate well with fans, so it gives us enough time to prepare and plan a good new game. So yeah, as much as I would like a new Metroid game, I think taking a little bit of a break and towards the end of the Wii U life cycle where we get enough time to fully pull out a great Metroid game is probably the best thing to do. This is just something that's going through my head. I know it's a bunch of random stuff that I'm throwing at you guys, but when is it too soon for a new game to come out? For Zelda, I said that when it is done, that's when it should come out. With Mario, I said, crank that shit out, and crank it out now. And with Metroid, I said, hold on a bit. I love the series, but let's take a little bit of a break. When is it too soon for a new game? Another thing that I think Nintendo should do, and I really should have talked about Pokemon in this, because Pokemon just released a new game, and it's when is it too soon for a new Pokemon game? I'm looking at my games over here. Not all the games are up there, but what I think it should do, Nintendo, is focus on some of its other characters and try to build those characters up a bit. Like, I'm playing Donkey Kong Country Returns. That's a game that's really good, and Donkey Kong, although one of the first Nintendo mascots and characters, hasn't been as popular as others. Or Kirby. Kirby's been a character that's been riddled with ups and downs over the years, with Epic Yarn and Mass Attack and Return to Dreamland, blah blah blah, blah blah blah, blah blah blah. Kirby is also a game which, or a character, a game series and a character, which I think Nintendo should focus on. I think Nintendo should also focus on games that will utilize the Wii U online stuff, get a little bit more competitive games. I know we can hit the classic gamers and the casual gamers. It can hit the hardcore gamers too, but we also want to bring in that hardcore gamer faction. I'm just thinking of all the things you could do with the Wii U's controller and with sports games or shooter games and stuff like that. Don't be afraid to include those kind of games. But yeah, I'm kind of just now randomly blabbering at the mouth. That's what I was thinking. So what are you thinking? Please comment, video respond, let me know what you think about Nintendo releasing its titles, when they should release the titles, and all that jazz. So with that said, I'm going to end this video here. This is Andrew saying, peace out for now.